Good morning, everybody. We're getting into stuff that I really like. I really like this algebra stuff. I just wish they used other variables besides x. But here we go. Like in this one here, you've got two x's over here, you got a 9 over there. The balance is going to be the equal sign. So I've got two x's equals 9. Well, to get the x all by itself, I'm going to divide. They're multiplying by 2, so I'm going to divide by 2, and my answer is x equals 9 halves. Or if your teacher doesn't like improper fractions, I do, that's 4.5, if you're going to have to do that. So here we go. I've got over here, I've got x plus 2 equals 7. If I subtract 2 from both sides to get the x all by itself, it's called isolating the variable. I get that x equals 5. So x must be 7? No. I get that x equals 5. And so, in this equation, x equals 5 to balance. Totally misspelled that word. Bloop. There we go. Good enough. Here we go. Next. Oh, a matching one. There's two x's here and a 3. So I get that that's 2x plus 3, or 2x equals 3. I've got 3x equals 2. Oh, there we go. Get this. Come on. Come on. What's left? I've got x plus 2 is the same as 2 plus x. And then 1 does not have a match. Next. Oh, well, that's the problem we just had. So you've got 2x's equals 3. To get rid of that 2, I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I get that x equals 3 halves, also known as 1.5. But I'm just going to type 3/2 because it's much easier. Submit. Here I've got 3x's equaling 2. And so I divide by 3, I get that x equals 2/3. A fraction is a division problem you don't have to do. And so we just leave it like that. Okay, so now I've got a bunch. 12, I've got 12, I'm going to put a 0.0 plus 2.4. Remember, when adding, always line up your decimal points. And then I've got a 4, 4, and 1. The answer should be 14.4. I've got a 12 times 2.4. I should have really put the 2.4 on top. Ignore the decimal, but there's one decimal place in the question, so I know there's got to be one in the answer. 4 times 12 is 48. Placeholder 0, 2 times 12 is 24. I add those together, I get 288, but I need one decimal place here because there was one in the question, so it's 28.8. Subtraction problem. I'm going to set it up just like the addition problem. 12.0 minus 2.4, line up the decimals, and then the decimal is going to drop on down. I've got 12, I need to borrow, I'm going to make that an 11. That's 10, 6, and 9.6. And lastly, a division problem. This one's not so bad. I'm going to put an extra 0 there because I've got a 2.4. I've got to move this one over once. I've got to move this one over once. The decimal is going to be right there, and I know that 5 times 24 is 120. If you look at your multiplication chart, you can figure that out. And so I'm just going to put 5, but 5.0 would probably be the better answer. And here we go. Fractions. Well, 1.5 is the same as 3 halves. And if I do 3 halves times 3/4, I get 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 4 is 8. I get 9/8. That is the same as 1 and 1/8, but I don't care. I'm just going to leave it as 9/8. Much better that way. This is a division problem. Take the total, 5/6, and divide it by 5/3. thirds. Now this is one of those weird times where you could just divide straight across. 5 divided by 5 is 1, 6 divided by 3 is 2. I get that this missing measurement is 1/2. Now, if you wanted to take a look at the right-hand side, flip it over, multiply. I'll show that side version too. So if I flip the other one over and multiply, the 5/5 becomes 1/1, and the 3/6 becomes 1/2, and I get 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 2 is 2. So even if you did it the other way, but this one you could just do straight across, nice and easy. Submit. Here we go. Some money. $20. Well, 25% of anything, 25% is the same as 1/4. And I know that 1/4 of 20 is $5, but mathematically what I would have done was like 0.25 times 20, and I get 5.00 because there's 2 decimals here. There's got to be 2 decimals there. So if 25% is $5, then 75% is 3 times that, or $15, and 125 is 5 times the original one, or $25. Let's see how I did. Yay, I got them all correct. If you have any questions, please ask in class. If not, I'll see you in the next video.